Seeing the setup, he seemed to shrink into himself. He called out, "Mom," nervously, then forced a smile and said, "Noah?" Noah acted like he didn't hear him and just ignored him. Mrs. Wilson gave a slight nod. Jacob asked tentatively, "Mom, you wanted to see me?" "Let me ask you," Mrs. Wilson said coldly. "What's this about the Thompson villa?" Jacob quickly explained. "Mr. White gave that villa to Charlie." Charlie helped him with some energy alignment advice. "Energy alignment?" Harold sneered sarcastically. "If you can get a luxury mansion just by giving some tips, then maybe we should all quit our jobs and become con artists." A few quiet chuckles went around the room. Hearing his relatives mock him, Jacob felt embarrassed and could only manage a weak, awkward laugh. But then Noah chuckled and stepped in to smooth things over. "Mom, it doesn't matter how Charlie got it. Mr. White himself explained that it was a gift to him. That settles it. Jacob doesn't need to explain anything." Jacob shot Noah a grateful look, feeling a bit surprised. His older brother usually blew him off, so for him to step in and defend him was completely unexpected. Noah smiled slightly and turned to Mrs. Wilson. "Mom, you don't need to ask how the villa was acquired. Anyway, Mr. White himself said it was given to Charlie, so we have nothing to worry about." "Yes," Mrs. Wilson nodded and turned to Jacob. "Jacob, your older brother wants his son Harold to marry Elsa from the Gardner family. What are your thoughts on that?" "That's wonderful news," Jacob said with a smile. "The Gardner family is very prominent. If we can form a union with them, it would be a huge help to the Wilson family." "It is a good thing," Mrs. Wilson said with a long sigh. "But our family, compared to the Gardner family, is leagues below them. Even if your brother wants this, we don't really have the standing to approach them." Jacob nodded seriously and spoke his mind. "Mom, to be honest, I don't think Elsa would be very interested." Harold's face turned sour, and he blurted out, "Uncle, what's that supposed to mean?" Only then did Jacob realize he'd said the wrong thing. He quickly tried to backtrack. "Oh, that's not what I meant. I just meant that compared to the Gardner family, our Wilson family is, well, we're not on their level." Mrs. Wilson said coolly, "Appearances are everything. You have to look the part to get the part. If we're living in the best villa in Orris Hill when the Gardner family visits, we'll make the right kind of impression." "Mom, are you thinking about moving?" Jacob asked, surprised. Mrs. Wilson said casually, "I'd love to move somewhere nicer, but unfortunately, I don't have that kind of money." Hearing this, Jacob quickly said, "If you need money, Mom, I still have that $1 million. Mrs. Wilson snorted coldly. "A villa can cost tens of millions, even 100 million. What good is 1 million? Then she deliberately changed the subject. "Jacob, doesn't your family have a brand new villa in Thompson just sitting there?" "Yes," Jacob said, confused. "What about it?" "What about it?" Mrs. Wilson shot back, looking annoyed. "I am your mother. How can you stand to watch me live in this old house for so many years? You have a brand new Thompson villa, so shouldn't you bring it to me? You should honor your mother and let me be the one to live in it first." Jacob was stunned for a second, then quickly said, "Mom, the villa was a gift to Charlie from the White family, not me." Mrs. Wilson lost her patience and dropped the act. She said directly, "Charlie is married into the Wilson family, so the villa the White family gave him belongs to us. As the head of this family, don't I have the right to live in a Wilson family villa?" Charlie, standing nearby, let out a small sneer. He hadn't said a word until now, knowing this family meeting couldn't be for anything good. And there it was. Mrs. Wilson just wanted his villa. It finally clicked for Jacob. He started sweating, completely speechless, and glanced back at Charlie with a look of pure embarrassment. Noah said with a smug grin, "Jacob, you're his father-in-law. If he won't even listen to you, doesn't that make him out of control? What kind of authority do you even have in your own home? Exactly. Mrs. Wilson nodded, satisfied. Her eyes were greedy, and she couldn't hide her excitement at the thought of living in a huge villa in the Thompson community. Claire couldn't stay quiet any longer. She said coldly, "Grandma, that villa doesn't belong to the Wilson family. If you want it, you have to ask Charlie. If he doesn't want to give it up, then nobody has the right to demand it." Mrs. Wilson frowned at Claire, clearly unhappy. "Who told you to speak?" She turned her cold gaze to Charlie and said bluntly, "That villa was a gift from the White family. You're just a house husband. You have no right to it. Tomorrow, go to the company's finance department and pick up $100,000. That's your reward for handing over the villa." Mrs. Wilson's tone was final, leaving no room for argument. Noah added, "Charlie, $100,000 is a lot of money. For a freeloader like you, I bet you've never even seen that much cash before." Charlie slowly lifted his head and snorted. "For $100,000, you want to force me to sell a villa in Thompson that's worth over $130 million? Mrs. Wilson, you have no shame at all." His voice cut through the room, clear and loud enough for everyone to hear. The whole hall fell silent. Everyone stared at Charlie, completely shocked. Even Claire was shocked. She never expected Charlie to be so bold. Mrs. Wilson's face turned red with rage. She slammed her hand on the table again and screamed, "You punk! How dare you stand up to me? Someone get this trash out of here!" So disrespectful. The absolute nerve! Harold added coldly, "Grandma, I think it's time he learned his place. He's just a house husband, and he dares to talk like that? It's completely out of line." Jacob looked over at Charlie, but was too afraid to say a word. "Respect?" Charlie sneered and said coldly, "You earn respect. You give it to people who deserve it. Out of everyone here, besides my father-in-law, who exactly deserves my respect?" He had put up with this greedy bunch for far too long. Mrs. Wilson, Jacob's own mother, constantly berated her second son and never gave him a second thought. And Noah, Jacob's older brother, had always looked down on him. Not only that, but he was always trying to take everything his brother had. As for Charlie, the Wilson family's house husband, they had never given him the time of day. They never took him seriously at all. Only Jacob, out of a misplaced sense of family loyalty, couldn't bring himself to give up on them. And they always bullied Claire, conveniently forgetting she was the one who secured the partnership with the Emgrand Group. The whole Wilson family was constantly walking all over them, bullying them whenever they felt like it. Charlie glanced at his wife and had decided to let it slide, for now. But he never imagined they'd be shameless enough to try and take their villa. "Charlie, how dare you talk to Grandma like that?" Harold shouted angrily. "I'm going to teach you a lesson today." "You?" Charlie sneered, his voice dripping with contempt. "Harold, to me, you're just a pathetic little bug, as insignificant as an ant." The nerve! Mrs. Wilson shot up from her chair and yelled, "Charlie, get on your knees and apologize, then sign over the villa, and I might forgive you this time. Otherwise, I'll make Claire divorce you right now. I'll throw you out of the Wilson house and leave you on the street. You won't survive out there." Claire, who had been looking down, snapped her head up. She stood in front of Charlie and said, "I don't agree. Are you my grandmother, or are you the head of the Wilson family? You push my dad around and you bully Charlie. Do you even consider us your family anymore? I will never divorce Charlie." "You!" Mrs. Wilson was so furious she could barely speak. She pointed a finger right at Claire's nose and then screamed at Jacob. "Look at your wonderful daughter, turning her back on her own family. Make her kneel down with him." Jacob slowly raised his head, staring directly at Mrs. Wilson. His usual timidness was gone, replaced by a look of deep frustration. Noah was stunned for a moment. His younger brother was usually a total pushover, completely controlled by his wife at home. He never dared to talk back to Mrs. Wilson. But now he was staring her down? He shouted, "Jacob, what are you waiting for? Tell your daughter to get on her knees and help Mom calm down." But Jacob, usually the most timid one, was flushed with anger. "Brother, the villa was a gift to Charlie. What he does with it is his business, and you don't get a say in who my daughter marries. Why do you think you have any right to take it? You ungrateful son!" Mrs. Wilson trembled with anger. She snatched the coffee mug from the table and hurled it at Jacob. Jacob didn't even flinch. The mug hit him square on the head with a sickening thud, instantly raising a large welt. Hot coffee streamed down his face, and wet leaves clung to his clothes. He remained motionless. "Dad!" Claire cried out, her voice breaking. Her eyes instantly welled with tears. She could take their insults, but she wouldn't stand by while they humiliated her father. Jacob let the coffee drip down his face. He lifted his head, his expression cold, and said, "Mom, if that's all, we're leaving." Then he turned to Charlie and Claire. "Let's go." He walked out the door without a single glance back. Claire wiped her tears, shot one last bitter look at everyone in the hall, and followed him without a moment's hesitation. Charlie didn't even bother to look at them. He just turned and left. Noah was fuming, practically shaking with rage as he watched them go.
To know more, listen to the audio series Heir in Hiding, only on the Pocket FM app.